Have you ever noticed how weird it can be to feel completely alone, even when you're surrounded by people? Like you're at a party with friends, but something just feels missing. Think back to the last time you were by yourself and felt the itch to grab your phone, turn on Netflix. We've all been there, right? That moment when silence feels uncomfortable. But what if I told you that that discomfort isn't something to run from? What if it's actually pointing you towards something powerful within yourself? That's what I find so fascinating about Oprah's journey. Here's someone who built this billion-dollar empire, connected with millions of people, but deliberately chose a path that made many people scratch their heads. Staying unmarried, creating space for herself. What Oprah figured out was this massive difference between feeling lonely and actually choosing solitude. And mastering this distinction, it could completely change how you connect with yourself and everyone around you. Today I'm going to show you how understanding conscious solitude can transform those moments of isolation into something that actually empowers you, and how the shift creates the foundation for authentic purpose and a deeper connection in every part of your life. Let me share 3 powerful insights about conscious solitude that can completely transform your relationship with yourself. First, here's the thing. Loneliness and solitude might look the same from the outside, but they're completely different experiences on the inside. Despite all her success and fame, Oprah made the choice that confused a lot of people. She stayed unmarried, but what others saw as something missing, Oprah recognized as freedom. She once said, "I've lived my life as an independent woman and never really felt the need to get married." This wasn't about avoiding connection. It was about understanding something deeper. True solitude isn't about the absence of other people. It's about being fully present with yourself. Think about how you feel when you're alone. Do you experience this restless emptiness that needs filling up? Or do you feel a sense of spaciousness that actually nourishes you? This isn't just a small difference. It reflects your fundamental relationship with yourself. Loneliness comes from feeling disconnected from others, and solitude comes from feeling connected to yourself. One drains you, the other fills you up. While society keeps telling us that being alone equals being lonely, Oprah's life shows us something revolutionary. Conscious solitude can actually be the foundation for building your most authentic life. Think about what you do when you're alone. Do you immediately reach for your phone, check social media, turn on the TV, or call someone? Or can you actually sit with yourself, finding renewal rather than restlessness? Your answer reveals whether you're experiencing loneliness. My second insight is this. Conscious solitude isn't about being comfortable alone. It's about creating the space where your authentic self can actually emerge. Oprah talks about how she uses her journals as a way to have conversations with herself. She says, "I've been keeping a journal since I was 15 years old. As I've grown older, I've realized it's not so much about what you write, it's about the process of clarifying your thoughts." This is huge because most of us never create this kind of space. We're actually bombarded with other people's opinions, expectations, and ideas about who we should be. Without solitude, it's nearly impossible to figure out what you actually think and feel beneath all that noise. Oprah's success isn't just about her talent or work ethic. It's about her ability to maintain this connection with herself, even when the whole world was trying to tell her who to be. That's why her voice feels so authentic, because it actually is. She's not just repeating what everyone else thinks. She's speaking from that deep well of self-knowledge that can only be accessed through conscious solitude. Ask yourself, when was the last time you made a decision that was truly yours? Not influenced by what others think, or what social media says is right, or what your parents or friends expect. If you struggle with this question, it might be because you haven't created enough conscious solitude to hear your own voice clearly. And here's my third insight. Conscious solitude actually creates the foundation for deeper connections with others, not isolation from them. There's this misconception that people who value solitude are antisocial or disconnected. But Oprah's life completely contradicts this. She's built some of the most meaningful relationships in entertainment industry. Her decades-long friendship with Gayle King, her connection with her audience, her ability to get people to open up in interviews. Oprah once said, "Alone time is when I distance myself from the voices of the world so I can hear my own." And that's the key. When you're comfortable with yourself, you don't use relationships to escape from yourself. Instead, you bring your whole, authentic self to those relationships. Think about it. When you're constantly surrounded by people, but never take the time to process your own thoughts and feelings, you end up bringing a fragmented, reactive version of yourself to those relationships. But when you practice conscious solitude, you show up as someone who knows who they are and what they value. This is why Oprah can connect so deeply with people from all walks of life, because she's done the inner work to know herself first. Her relationships aren't about filling a void. They're about sharing the fullness she's cultivated. So how do we actually start practicing conscious solitude in our everyday lives? Let me share 3 practical strategies that Oprah has used throughout her journey. First, create daily rituals that connect you with yourself. Oprah starts every morning with meditation and journaling. She calls it her spiritual practice and says it's non-negotiable. You don't need to copy her exact routine, but find something that works for you. Maybe it's a walk without your phone, sitting quietly with a cup of tea, or spending 10 minutes journaling before bed. The key is consistency. These moments of conscious solitude build on each other, gradually helping you distinguish between your authentic voice and the noise of the world. Second, learn to recognize the difference between reactive isolation and conscious solitude. When you're scrolling mindlessly through social media or binge watching shows to avoid being alone with your thoughts, that's reactive isolation. When you're intentionally creating space to connect with yourself, that's conscious solitude. Oprah talks about how she used to be a people pleaser until she realized she was losing herself in the process. She made a conscious decision to start saying no to things that didn't align with her values, even when it disappointed others. That's the power of conscious solitude. It gives you the clarity to make choices based on what's truly important to you. And third, use solitude as a tool for growth, not escape. Oprah doesn't use her alone time to hide her challenges. She uses it to process them and find wisdom within them. She once said, "Turn your wounds into wisdom." This happens in those moments of reflection when you're truly present with yourself. Next time you're facing a difficult decision or processing a painful experience, try sitting with it in conscious solitude instead of immediately seeking distraction or outside opinions. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How is this helping me grow? This transforms solitude from something you endure to something that actually empowers you. Let me share what's possible when you master the art of conscious solitude using Oprah's journey as inspiration. First, you develop unshakable self-trust. Oprah's ability to follow her intuition, even when it contradicted conventional wisdom, came from her practice of conscious solitude. When she decided to end the Oprah show at the height of its success to start her own network, many thought it was a mistake, but she trusted herself because she cultivated that inner connection. Imagine making decisions from this place of deep self-knowledge rather than fear or external pressure. That's the freedom conscious solitude offers. Second, you create authentic success instead of chasing validation. Oprah didn't build her empire by following someone else's blueprint. She created something that reflected her true values and vision. This is only possible when you're comfortable enough with yourself to hear and trust your unique ideas. And finally, You experience what Oprah calls the fullest expression of yourself as a human being. This isn't about achievement or recognition. It's about alignment. It's about living in a way that honors who you truly are. Oprah once said, the biggest adventure you can take is to live the life of your dreams. But you can only know what those dreams actually are when you've created enough conscious solitude to hear your own voice clearly. The journey from loneliness to conscious solitude isn't always easy. There will be moments of discomfort as you learn to be present with yourself. But as Oprah's life demonstrates, the rewards are immeasurable: authentic purpose, deeper connections, and the freedom to create a life that truly reflects who you are. So next time you feel the urge to reach for your phone when you're alone, remember that on the other side of that discomfort lies a powerful opportunity: the chance to transform isolation into conscious solitude and to discover the wisdom and purpose that can only emerge from truly knowing yourself. As always, stay beautiful, stay connected, and stay conscious in the field.